Good evening, students. Get ready to start sample paper. So today we are starting with science sample paper. Can you respond like whether you are able to see clearly screen or not? Can you see the screen? So here the first question, as per the marking scheme, question paper consists of 39 questions in 3 sections. Section A is related to biology, section B is related to chemistry, and section C is related to physics. So as it was um, earlier announced that for the science and social science paper, you need to write answers section wise. So this time, particular sections to be written in particular, like if it is related to bio, it should be written in bio section only. If it is related to chemistry, it should be in chemistry section. And if it is related to physics, it should be in physics section only. Vivek, are you there? Vivek, are you there? So let's start out with the section-wise solution. So here the first question, section A, which is related to bio, you need to write all the things related to biology in section A only. And coming to the next part, all questions are compulsory. However, an internal choice is provided in some questions. Okay, there will be internal choice where you can choose. All 39 questions are compulsory from all the 3 sections. Now let's start from section A onwards. So here in section A, this is the sample solution paper I have chosen so that you can see the question and answer both and go through with answer clearly. So if you faces any difficulty, let me know so that we can rectify it. So the first question, which of the following represents the correct sequence of events in nutrition in amoeba? So if you recall back amoeba's nutrition in amoeba, you need to write around 5 steps. The first one, amoeba is a unicellular organism. Its mode of nutrition is holozoic. It obtained its food by phagocytosis. So after writing these points, we start out with ingestion. So what is the first step? Ingestion. Then the next one, after ingestion, if it is taking the food in, then it should be digested. So the second one will come the digestion part. Then it comes absorption. So here, ingestion, digestion, absorption. After absorption, it has to assimilate. Then final step is egestion. So B is the correct answer. Repeating once again, ingestion means it is taking in its food. Then digestion. Vivek, are you there? I can't see you. Are you there or not? So as we started with the science paper, I need your response quickly. So here the first one is ingestion. Then after ingestion means it is taking in its food. Then after that, digesting the food. After digestion, it has to absorb the digested food. That comes under absorption. And next, the assimilation, where it will assimilate, utilization of the digested food. And finally, egestion, that is giving out of waste. Coming to second question. Second question is, the nerve impulse is a signal transmitted along a nerve fiber. So what is nerve impulse? It is a signal transmitted along the nerve fiber. What is the correct pathway for the flow of the impulse within the single neuron? If you recall back neuron structure, most probably you are knowing that it has got dendron. So first one will be dendrite, where that complete what we say it's have root like structures, outgrowth. So that is dendrite. After dendrite, so the options are given: axon terminal, then cell body, dendrite, cell body. So it never starts with terminal. So option number 3 is the correct sequence where dendrites are there. From dendrites, it is passed out to cell body. From there, axon. So cell body is a cellular part. Then inside that we have nucleus. Then the cell body ends with the axon, which is a long structure. Then axon finally terminates into nerve ending. So the correct sequence is C, dendrite, cell body and axon. Now coming to third question. So here in third question it is given, there is various methods to prevent pregnancy. Which of the following contraceptive method also provides protection from acquiring sexually transmitted disease? So STDs, sexually transmitted disease. So we can get protection only through condoms. So what is this? Copper T, oral pills and tubectomy. There are total 5 methods. Copper T, oral pills, these two are taken by the female. Oral pills, they are the pills which are taken orally. Now the next one, copper T. It is a T shaped made up of copper which is inserted in the female uterus nearby the mouth. Copper has infertile nature. So it will make the sperms infertile. Infertility nature of the copper will make the sperms infertile. So thus the sperms soon it will reach into the uterus. It will become infertile and lose its fertility. Thus it is avoiding fertility. Then the next one, tubectomy, vasectomy. So this question is very important for long questions also, like what are the various methods of preventions. So there are total 3 methods. One is mechanical method, that is mechanical barrier. Second, chemical method, and third is surgical method. You need to write like a flow chart. First one, mechanical method. Second one, chemical method, and third one, surgical method. Mechanical method, there comes condom. So condom is owned by the male, which protect STDs also. So here the option condom will come as it is protecting STDs. Whereas the copper T, it comes under chemical method as it is a chemical, and oral pills, these two will come under chemical method. In explanation, you need to write like copper T, it is a copper shaped T which is inserted in uterus, which will make sperms infertile. Oral pills, they are the chemicals which will balance the hormone, thus preventing pregnancies. Then the next one, okay, the next one, uh, surgical method, tubectomy and vasectomy. Okay, Abhay, thank you for attending. Are you there or you left? If you are there, try to get the solutions, understand it, so it will be helpful to you. The next one is tubectomy and vasectomy we were talking about. Tubectomy, it is carried in female where the fallopian tube is removed and then it is tied and left out. So tube means fallopian tube. Fallopian tube of the female is tied from both the sides. So it is called tubectomy. Vasectomy is carried in male. So these two are the surgical methods, tubectomy and vasectomy. Now after tubectomy and vasectomy, we comes under the next question. Okay, here the question number 4. In classical Mendelian monohybrid cross. So what is Mendelian's monohybrid cross? For hybridization, Mendel took 2 pea plants. One is tall and other is dwarf. Tall pea plant is represented by capital T, whereas the dwarf tea plant was represented by small t. As it is monohybrid cross, so he took only one single character, that is tallness of the pea plant during F1 generation. So if you recall back that cross of the hybridization, monohybrid cross, so there phenotypic and genotypic, two kind of ratios we come across. Okay, so when they undergo self-pollination, phenotypic ratio is 3:1. So phenotype means which we can see, visualizing ratio. It's 3:1, 3 completely tall plant and 1 completely short plant. And genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. So these 2 points are also very important. 1:2:1, where one is completely tall and one is 2 is hybrid tall, and 1 is completely short plant, dwarf plant. So thus, in the question they asked, like in classical Mendelian monohybrid cross, when a heterozygous tall plant from the F1 generation self-pollinated, what is the result of the F2 generation? So phenotypic ratio they're asking. So thus the answer is 3:1. So hope you understood. Now coming to the next question. In next question, question number 5, it's given, in any ecosystem, certain organisms are responsible for breaking down complex organic substances from dead plants and animals into simpler inorganic substances. What are these essential organisms called? So they are converting complex to simple inorganic substances. So as they are converting complex organic substance to inorganic substances, so here they are decomposers. So explanation is, decomposer like bacteria and fungi perform the vital function of recycling nutrients. They break down dead organic matter, releasing nutrient back into the soil, water and air. So they return back the content to atmosphere. So decomposer is the correct answer. Coming to sixth question, consider the following statements about the human heart. So here human heart is 4-chambered. So this first point is correct. The right ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to the lungs. So when we come across, while learning about human heart, you just recall back like human heart is 4-chambered. First 2 chambers are, like upper 2 chambers are called auricle, lower 2 chambers are called ventricle. Okay, upper 2 are called auricle, lower 2 are called ventricle. The side which is towards our right, we consider that to be left, towards our right hand. While when you will be representing in the answer sheet, the side which is towards your right hand side is left auricle and left ventricle, or left atria and left ventricle. And the side which is towards your left hand side are right. So always the left side carries pure oxygenated blood and right side carries impure deoxygenated blood. So as per that explanation, the first one, human heart is 4-chambered. First answer is correct. The right ventricle pumps oxygenated blood. This is a wrong one, as in the right side there is flow of impure deoxygenated blood. And the third one, the wall of left ventricle is thicker than the wall of right ventricle. So why the wall difference is there? Wall of the left ventricle is thicker than the right ventricle. In right, they are getting impure blood. It need not to pump hardly to send it to lungs for purification. Whereas the left ventricle, it need to pump hardly, as from there the blood will be supplied throughout the body. Okay, so the wall of left ventricle are thicker compared to right ventricle. So is it clear? Wall of the left ventricle are thicker compared to right ventricle. The reason is because it need to pump hardly blood to throughout the body. Okay, thank you those who are attending. So I'm explaining these in detail so that if some reason type of questions will be asked in other sections, you can write them in your own words. In CBSE, it is very compulsory that you need to be clear with your concepts. And the next one, valves ensure the blood flow in only one direction through the heart. So that is why there is bicuspid and tricuspid valve is there. Moreover, how you can remember, like bicuspid is there towards left side and tricuspid is there towards right side. So you can like make a logic, right hand we do lot of activity, or the right hand it's having the tougher job. So right side tricuspid and left side bicuspid valve is there, and valve is unidirectional, it is having hinge joint type of, so thus unidirectional flow it provides. So here we got only option 2 wrong. So 1, 3 and 4 are correct options. So option number 1 A is correct answer for this. This question got completed. Now moving to the 7th question. Okay, I got some question. Okay, ma'am, ये वाला question प्री बोर्ड केस बेस्ड में आया था. वेरी गुड बेटा. हाँ, आपको एक्सप्लेनेशन क्लियरली पता था जब आपने लिखा? अगर आपको एक्सप्लेनेशन पता था तो यू कैन आंसर वेरी नाइसली. हाँ, वेरी नाइस. जो भी मोस्टली सीबीएसई के स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं उनका कॉन्सेप्ट बहुत क्लियर होता है. ओके, स्टेट बोर्ड वाले स्टूडेंट्स के साथ ही थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है, वो सिर्फ थिंकिंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस या फिर मतलब जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस होते हैं बस उतने ही वो लर्न करते हैं। बट सीबीएसई स्टूडेंट्स का ये नेचर होता है कि दे गो थ्रू विथ मेनी अदर books and they prepare lot. Okay, now the next question. Fertilization in flowering plant is the fusion of male and female gamete. Where does this process typically take place? Okay, let's have a little explanation regarding this female part or male part of flower. So here the male part of the flower, stamen and anther, which contains pollen grains, or female part is pistil, which is styles, stigma and ovary. Fertilization, where it is taking place, this pollen grains are reaching to the stigma. Stigma is the tip of the pistil, female reproductive organ. So reproductive part. So here, as soon the pollen grains will reach to stigma, there will be fertilization. So as per that, different options like on the surface of stigma, inside the growing pollen tube. So inside the growing pollen tube, there is no fertilization. Pollen tube is only providing the path to reach the pollen grains to ovary, okay, to ovule, inside the ovule, where fertilization will take place. So what is pollen tube? Pollen tube is a pathway from where pollen grains will reach inside through micropyle end. Within the anther of the stamen, so first all the three options are wrong. Inside the ovule, which is located within the ovary. So correct answer is option number D. So we have completed 7th one. Okay, now the next question, assertion reason. Abscisic acid is referred to as stress hormone in plant. Reason, the production of abscisic acid in plant stimulates the closure of stomata, which helps to reduce water loss during dry condition. So there is no relation between abscisic acid and that it helps in closure of stomata. Stomata's closing and opening depends on the water condition. If the plant is having high water content, stomata will open, that the guard cells will become turgid and it will make the stomata to open. And when it is in the dry condition like desert, it will make the guard cell to shrink and stomatas will close. So there is no relation between R and A. Now assertion abscisic acid. So let's move with the solution here. Both A and R are few minutes only. Okay, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay, let's read this once. Abscisic acid plays a crucial role in helping plant respond to environmental stress, particularly drought. So water loss through transpiration thus justifies its name as stress hormone. So you can memorize this answer like there is a relation between abscisic acid and stress free hormone for the plant. As in the animals, we are having hormones which will help to relax the stress. The same way in plants also we are having abscisic acid, which is stress free hormone, which is used during the crucial role like making the stomatas opening and closing. Okay, once go through with this question once again. Next one, 9th one, assertion, all variations that arise in a species have unequal chances of survival. Natural selection favor variations that provide a survival advantage in particular environment. So here, all variations that arise in a species have an equal chance of survival. It's not like, okay, all the variations will survive. If all the variations will survive, there will be mutation. What is mutation? Mutation is a sudden change. So mutation will go on, which doesn't happen always. Okay. So finally, we can say that statement A is wrong, whereas R is correct. So answer D. A is false, R is true. Assertion is false. Chances of survival of the variation depends on how well it is suited to the correctly suited. So the reason is that statement correctly describes the principle of natural selection. Natural selection was given by Darwin. That also can be one of the MCQ. Now the last 10th question, which plant generate oxygen during the, while plants generate oxygen during the day, they produce carbon dioxide at night. Justify the statement. Okay, statement is wrong. During day and night, both the time they produces carbon dioxide. Okay, so here plants perform both photosynthesis and respiration during the day. The rate of photosynthesis much higher than respiration, resulting in the net release of oxygen at night. In absence of sunlight, photosynthesis stops, but respiration continues, leading to the release of carbon dioxide. Is it clear? Now the next one. So the next question. So is it clear to all? So how respiration and like how the release of oxygen and carbon dioxide are interrelated. 11th question. Students to attempt either option B, A or B. How is process of breathing different in aquatic plants, aquatic organism compared to terrestrial organism? So here CBSE has made it very simple to know like which is bio section and which one is of chemistry section. So in the section A, we are getting all the bio-related questions, 10 MCQs, total 9 MCQs we got, assertion reason type of 2 questions. If you see back, 10th question, it was a answering type where you need to explain, justify the answer. 11th one, here choice is there, internal choice for the 11th question. You need to choose out whether you know A properly or B. How is the process of breathing different in aquatic organism compared to terrestrial organism? If you recall back, aquatic organism, the rate of respiration is faster compared to terrestrial organism. So sometimes we get the question like why this happens, why the rate of respiration in aquatic plants is more compared to terrestrial plants. The reason is there is low content of oxygen in water compared to air. So thus to fulfill the sufficiency, they need to breathe faster. Explain why the rate of breathing in aquatic organism is much faster. So this question is very important. Go through with that. And next question is, what is translocation in plant? Translocation and transportation. Sometimes they ask the difference also. Translocation, movement of food. Then name the tissue responsible for it. Phloem is responsible for translocation, and for transportation, xylem is responsible. And in the form of fooded transport. So which kind of fooded transport? So let's go through with the answer now. First answer related to terrestrial organism. Terrestrial organisms, so here terrestrial organism obtained oxygen from the atmosphere, while aquatic organism use oxygen dissolved in water. Since the amount of dissolved oxygen is fairly low compared to amount of oxygen in the air, the rate of breathing in aquatic organism is much faster to meet the oxygen demand. Okay, why the oxygen like they breathe faster? Reason is there is less amount of oxygen present in water compared to air. To fulfill the requirement, they need to breathe faster. The second question, transportation one, transport of soluble product of photosynthesis, that is photosynthetic food, from leaves to the other part of the plant is called translocation. This process is carried out by vascular tissue called phloem. Food is primarily transported in the form of sucrose. If you recall back, the sucrose related one more question we have, like pollen grains attract insects. So why the insects get attracted towards the pollen grains? The reason is pollen grains contains more amount of sucrose. To get the sucrose content, insects get attracted towards a pollen grain. Now the next question, 12th one, grassland ecosystem. The following organisms are present: grasshopper, hawk, lizard, and snake. Construct two distinct food chains from this ecosystem, each starting with the producer. So out of them, producer is grass. So making the two different kind of food chains. So first food chain is grass. Grass is eaten by grasshopper. Then grasshopper is eaten by lizard. And finally lizard is eaten by hawk. The second food chain, grass to grasshopper. There they have given the condition. We need to start from producer. So the producer here is grasshopper. And then grasshopper is, grass. Then grass is eaten by grasshopper. We were having only two options, either lizard or snake. So this time we replaced lizard with snake and finally by hawk. Okay, now the next question. Question number 13. Draw the neat diagram of reflex action, a reflex arc showing the pathway of reflex action when a person accidentally touch a hot object. Label the key components involved. So this diagram is there in the textbook. For bio, it is very important to practice out all the diagrams which are there in NCERT textbook. So they don't ask the diagrams from outside. Practice out all the given diagrams of the book. So here, question is reflex arc we need to show. So reflex arc starts from the sensory nerve and ends with the motor nerve. So the first one, receptors in the skin. So when a person is touching hot bowl, so receptors present in his skin will receive the information and they send it to sensory nerve. So first you need to draw arc. If you are not making complete hand, just make the receptors present in the skin. Labeling is important. Receptors of the skin are passing out to sensory neuron. From sensory neuron, it will move to spinal cord, which is a part of CNS, central nervous system. From there, it will undergo to motor neuron. So there is a relay neuron, which is transferring the information from sensory neuron to motor neuron. So exchange is taking place via relay neuron. Then from the motor neuron, it will reach to effector or the muscles in the arm. So once it will reach to muscles, the muscles will make the hand to remove. So once we touch any hot things, what is reflex action? That is unconscious and automatic action in response to certain stimuli. So here the stimuli is hotness of the pot. So once the person will touch the hot pot, he will remove his hand. That is a response. And this complete structure is reflex arc structure. So what is reflex arc? It is a pathway of reflex action. Reflex arc pathway as shown in the diagram. The first one is stimulus. What is your stimuli? Heat from the hot object. Receptor which are receiving. So here the pain or the heat receptor in the skin detect the stimuli. Receptors are receiving the stimuli. Say my name. How can I say your name? Jatin is written. Okay. Now the next one, sensory neuron. Sensory neuron carries the impulse from receptor to the spinal cord. So sensory neuron which are receiving, and finally motor neuron will be there which will send out the information. Now the next question, see how is small intestine designed to maximize the absorption of digested food. So this is also a very simple question. How the small intestine is designed to maximize the process of digestion. So small intestine has finger-like projections for absorption and it is a convoluted tubule. Okay, so which make it to be enlarged. So let's have the answer. Rice is rich in starch. The digestion of the starch begins in the mouth, buccal cavity, which is part. Maybe one more question will be there, which we left. So let me see that. Okay, 3 questions are there. Page number 4. relay neuron present in the spinal cord connect sensory to motor neuron. Okay, that part of the reflex action still answer is there in the continuation. So here the relay neuron which is present in the spinal cord which connect the sensory and motor neuron. Motor neuron sends the signal from spinal cord to effector muscles. Now what are effector? Effector muscle in the arm respond by contracting. Response, hand is pulled away immediately. Then eighth point, message to brain. After the reflex action occur, the information is sent to brain for awareness, that is spinal cord will send it. So this is one more MCQ which can be asked, like reflex action is carried with the help of spinal cord or brain. So reflex action is always done with spinal cord because it is a quick response to certain stimuli. Okay, that question was like we need to draw the pathway of reflex arc and to be explained all the paths. Now the next 14th question, in pea plant, those who are attending, if you have any difficulties, you can make like, you can ask her. Now the next question, in pea plant, a pure tall plant is represented by capital T's, is crossed with pure short plant, small t. What is the phenotype and genotype of F1 generation? If you recall back, just now we discussed this answer. This was there in MCQ also. Here, the phenotypic ratio for F1 generation, all plants will be tall. That is phenotype. When we see, they will be taller by look. And the genotype, that is genetic relation. When we see the inside genetic composition, it's having hybrid tall, that is heterozygous. One is tall and one is dwarf. Capital T and small t is there. So ratio is 3:1. 3 pure tall plants and 1 hybrid tall. F1 self-pollination, when it is crossed between hybrid offsprings, F2 generation will have the genotype 1 completely tall, 2 hybrid tall, that is capital T and small t, and 2 small t's, that is completely dwarf. So 1:2:1. Pure tall is 1, hybrid tall is 2, and dwarf is 1. So the ratio, genotypic ratio is 1:2:1, phenotypic ratio is 3:1. Two questions were there. What is the phenotypic and genotypic ratio of the generations? Now the next question is related to the human digestive system. So the student had meal containing the rice and lentils, that is dal. Rice is carbohydrate, dal is protein. Refer to the figure of the human alimentary canal and following to the following questions. So first one, name the component in rice which is the primary source of energy. Rice contains carbohydrate, and primary source of carbohydrate, uh, um, here the question, name the component in the rice that is primary source of energy. Carbohydrate is primary source of energy. Where does its digestion begins and which enzyme is responsible? Digestion of the carbohydrate starts in the mouth. Salivary amylase. Okay, in the mouth, salivary amylase is secreted from salivary gland, which is responsible for the conversion of complex carbohydrate to simple maltose. Now the next question, lentil are rich source of protein. Describe the process of protein digestion that occur in the stomach, that is N part, and small intestine. So here stomach contains, in the stomach we are getting three different actions. The first one, stomach releases HCl, mucus and pepsin. So first one, function of HCl. HCl has got two functions. It makes the medium acidic and kills the germ present in the food. So why acidic medium is needed? Acidic medium is needed for the action of pepsin. Pepsin will become activate when HCl is secreted. So thus pepsin digests protein. You can remember like P for pepsin, P protein. So here pepsin digests protein, which convert protein to peptons, and then mucus protect the inner lining of the stomach from action of HCl. Here you can get one more question. during acidity. Why the when the person takes more protein containing food, why he gets acidity complaint? The reason is like to digest more and more protein, more HCl is needed. To make pepsin activate, HCl will secrete more and leads to the condition called acidity. So we covered the section of the stomach. Now we need to start out with the small intestine. Small intestine secretes um, intestinal juice where the complete digestion of carbohydrate, protein and fats will done. Now the protein is in peptone form. So here peptones get converted into amino acid in the small intestine. So let's have the answers now. The first one, organism. Okay. So the first answer, rice, we already discussed that. Rice, here the enzyme is salivary amylase, and we covered about HCl, how the HCl is making the um, pepsin to become activate. Small intestine, the inner lining of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projections called villi. So how the small intestine is designed? So which increases the surface area for absorption. So villi, they are finger-like foldings which will increase the surface area of absorption. These villi are richly supplied with blood vessels and which helps the absorption that absorb the food to get mixed into blood. Okay, now the next question, either A or B you need to attempt. We are in question number 16 now. A student observed a slice of bread with a cottony growth after living in a moist dark place. So here when the bread is left for some time, it got some outgrowth. Identify the organism. So that is nothing but bread mold, fungus. Explain how this mode of reproduction helps the organism to survive unfavorable condition. If you recall back, so this fungus during unfavorable condition, they produce sporangium, okay, and which has a thick wall. Inside the sporangium there will be formation of spores, and during favorable condition those sporangium will blast and spores will come out and they produce a new organism. State one key advantage of sexual reproduction over this method. So that method, upper one is asexual mode of reproduction. Sexual one, there will be variation. And then whereas in the asexual mode, the same individual will produce, like as the parents are there, offsprings will be the true copy of that. Now the next question, choice for that. Here also we are having one more internal choice. There was choice on 11th question where you got internal choice, and next is in 16th question. Draw the label diagram of longitudinal section of the flower. List any 3 chances that take place in flower after fertilization which lead to formation of fruit and seed. So how there is fruit and seed formation. What is the function of sepal and petals in the flower? So all the parts you need to learn properly. Okay, so let's move out with the answer section now. So here the first one, organism is bread mold, rhizopus. So there they asked like there was a outgrowth on the bread when it is left in the moist condition. So what is that outgrowth? So here the outgrowth, organism is bread mold. Its mode of reproduction is spore formation. Spore are covered with a thick protective wall that allows them to remain dormant and survive unfavorable conditions. So spore is having a thick wall which we call sporangium that makes the spores to remain dormant. Dormant means in the sleeping nature. Okay, dormant and survive unfavorable conditions. What is unfavorable condition for the bread mold? So here that if it is having the hot temperature, that is unfavorable condition. So that time the spores will remain inactive, and once if it will get moisture, then the sporangium will blast and it will have the asexual mode of reproduction. So here unfavorable conditions such as lack of moisture and extreme temperature. When the condition become favorable, they germinate. The next question was, if you remember, difference between, so that is what is the advantage of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction promotes genetic variation. Okay, genetic variation among offsprings. If you are unable to memorize the typical terms, you can make it little simpler. But if you uses the key terms, that will make your answer more effective. Genetic variation. Sexual mode is having advantage that there is development of variation, as it is reproduction between two different individuals from the among offsprings, which increases the ability of the species to adapt to changing environment and enhance survival. So thus the organism can adapt to changing environment. Now the next question was related to the section of the flower. There changes after changes after fertilization. Question was, what were the three changes after fertilization? The first one, ovary develops and ripens to become fruit. So here ovary changes to fruit. First change, ovule changes into seed. Second change, and all the secondary parts, that is auxiliary parts, petals, sepals and stamens, all withered and fall down. So all the other parts of the flower falls. Only that ovary changes to fruit and ovule changes to seed. Next question, functions of sepal. So here sepals, you can see sepals are the green part. So here the green outgrowth, they protect the flower when it is in bud condition. And petals, they are the colorful attractive part. So the main function is attract agents of pollination. So function, sepal protect the flower in its bud stage. Petals are often brightly colored to attract insect and other animals for pollination. So you can write the agents of pollination. Now we are starting with section B. So finally, there are 16 questions in section A. So section A is related to bio part. So where total 16 questions are there. Section B is related to chemistry. First question, 17th one. Here the equation is given which you need to balance. Which of the following equation represents redox reaction? Now here it is redox reaction. And what are the values of P and Q? So both the questions are there, redox reaction and the values of P and Q. You need to balance also. So redox reaction, what is redox reaction? Reaction in which oxidation and reduction take place both. So here you need to have the idea of what is oxidation and what is reduction. So if you know clearly like where the oxidation and reduction is taking place, then you can answer out about redox reaction. Silver chloride is breaking down into silver and chlorine. And the second question, Zn plus HCl will give ZnCl2 plus hydrogen. So here only equation 1 is redox. Balancing, all of you know, like you can do balancing by your own by counting the numbers. Answer is both the equation 1 and 2 are redox reaction. So how you analyze that both are redox reaction? Here no oxygen and hydrogen is given. So if oxygen and hydrogen is not there, we count out the electrons exchange. So how many electrons are donated? Both the reactions are redox reaction. In equation 1, silver is reduced Ag plus to Ag. So and chlorine is oxidized from Cl minus to Cl2. And the second equation, zinc is oxidized Zn to Zn2 plus. Okay, let's see the equation once again to have the clear explanation. Here AgCl is in combined form. Simply you can remember like when the compound is in combined form and if it is getting split into simple molecular form, there it is getting oxidized. Here AgCl, from AgCl, Ag is getting oxidized to Ag and chlorine is getting reduced to Cl2. And the same way Zn to Cl2, there is a formation of compound. and HCl is getting split into hydrogen. So when there is splitting, you say that oxidation is taking place. When there is formation of compound, reduction is taking place. As both are taking place simultaneously, so both are redox reactions. Now moving to the next question. Next question, 4 statements about the reaction of oxides are listed. Lead oxide react with both dilute hydrochloric acid and aqueous sodium hydroxide. Magnesium oxide react with, so here the thing is like related to, there are 3 types of oxides: acidic oxide, basic oxide, and neutral oxide and amphoteric oxide. 4 types of oxides are there. When it is reacting with both acid and base, it comes under amphoteric oxide. The first one, lead oxide, react with both dilute hydrochloric acid and aqueous sodium hydroxide. Magnesium oxide react with dilute hydrochloric acid but does not react with aqueous sodium hydroxide. Magnesium oxide, MgO plus HCl, MgCl2 plus okay, here the third one, copper oxide react with both dilute hydrochloric acid and aqueous sodium oxide, sodium hydroxide. Sodium oxide react with aqueous sodium hydroxide but not with dilute hydrochloric acid. Question is, which statement are correct? So the first one, lead oxide react with both. Lead oxide is amphoteric oxide reacting with both lead oxide, aluminium oxide, Al2O3, and zinc oxide. 3 amphoteric oxides are there. You can remember, magnesium oxide is basic oxide. It is reacting with HCl, and rest of the 2 are given wrong. Sodium oxide, it is a basic oxide. It cannot react with sodium hydroxide. Base cannot react with base. And the same way, copper oxide, it is reacting with both is given. Only 3 amphoteric oxides we are having: lead oxide, aluminium oxide, and zinc oxide. So option 1 and 2 are correct one. Now the next question, a strip of zinc is added to a test tube containing aqueous ferrous sulfate. Zinc, Zn plus ferrous sulfate. Okay, ferrous sulfate. Copper wire is added to another test tube containing aqueous zinc sulfate. Which of the following observation is correct? So for this you need to remember activity series. So whenever you get confused with whether the displacement reaction will take place or not, on the side write down activity series. If the element, whatever they have given the name, if it is below, it will get displaced, otherwise reaction will not take place. So zinc is added to ferrous sulfate and copper is added to zinc sulfate. Okay, so here green solution in the first test tube turns colorless and the second test tube remains colorless with no change. They added copper to zinc. So if you recall back activity series, sodium, potassium, popular scientists can calcium, magnesium, zinc. So zinc can displace both. So here zinc is more reactive than copper, so it will not get displaced by copper. So there is no change in the second test tube. And first test tube, zinc will displace the ferrous. So green solution of the first test tube turns to colorless, whereas the second test tube, it remains colorless with no change. Option A is the correct answer. Okay, now let's move to the next question, 19th. Okay, question number 20. Green color solution of the first test tube turns colorless and the second test tube remains colorless with no change. Zinc is more reactive than iron. So answer you got. Let's start out with the next answer. Question number 20. Okay, some of you has given option number A. Nice. Okay, next question. What change would you observe if you put blue litmus paper and lead litmus paper into the samples of the soap solution? So here, first one, color change on the blue litmus paper, color change on the lead litmus paper. So what changes we see? Soap solution is basic in nature. If you recall back, acid turns blue litmus paper to red. But in base, there is no change. Base turns red litmus paper to blue. So here, red litmus paper, acid, when it is kept in soap solution, blue litmus paper, no change. And red litmus paper will turn to blue. Option A is the correct one. So color change on the blue litmus paper, no change, and red will turn to blue as soap is basic. So over this explanation, then which of the following substance when mixed with water will result in a solution with the lowest pH value? Which of the following substance when mixed with water, if you mix it with water, will have lowest pH value? Lowest pH value means it should be in acidic content. Okay, milk of magnesia, it will neutralize acid. So it is taken for the remedy. So it is basic in nature. Human blood, its pH is little acidic. Gastric juice, it contains HCl, so it's more acidic. Pure water, neutral. So answer is gastric juice. The lowest pH value corresponding to the most acidic substance, gastric juice, is acidic in nature. So its pH range is 1.2 to 3 due to the presence of hydrochloric acid. Whereas milk of magnesia is basic and blood and water nearly neutral. Blood is little acidic in nature. Okay, now the next question, 25th one. Answer the following. School bell are designed to be sonorous. Why are they made of metal like brass or bronze and not with wood? Because metals are sonorous in nature. This answer you can give simply. And wood is non-metal, which is non-sonorous. It will not produce sound. Now the next one, aluminium metal is highly malleable. So these are related to the physical characteristics of the metal. Aluminium is malleable. Most metals are malleable in nature. So aluminium is malleable in nature. The property of the malleability means they can be made into sheet. So the foils are made by using this property utilized in the food industry. So food industry, they use it to wrap the food as it provides hygiene and then non-toxic in nature and protects the food from light and air. Okay, so question is very simple. Then 26th one, an element Y is most abundant metal in the earth's crust. In earth crust it is abundant metal. Next, it is extracted by electrolytic reduction. So once you come to know like electrolytic reduction, if it is given means it's most reactive metal. Highly reactive metal undergo electrolytic reduction from its molten oxide. This metal readily form a thin, tough and non-porous oxide layer on the surface upon exposure to air. So this part is from metallurgy section of metals and non-metal. Identify the element Y. Element Y is aluminium. Okay, element Y is aluminium. And next question, explain why electrolytic reduction is necessary for its extraction. Aluminium is highly reactive metal and has very strong affinity for oxygen. Generally, metals are first oxidized either by calcination or by roasting method, depending on their oxides, what the oxides they have, and then finally they undergo reduction if they are middle in the activity series. But for highly reactive metals, they are having high affinity for oxygen. They cannot be extracted by oxidation method. So thus, highly reactive metals can be extracted only by using electrolytic reduction method. Aluminium is highly reactive metal and has very strong affinity for oxygen. So it is placed high up in the reactivity series. That's why we use electrolytic reduction method for it. Write a chemical equation for the reaction that take place at the cathode during electrolysis. So here you need to write the reaction. Therefore, it cannot be reduced from its ore aluminium oxide using common reduction a reducing agent like carbon. Carbon is less reactive than aluminium, so we cannot extract aluminium from electrolytic reduction because carbon cannot reduce it. It is less reactive compared to aluminium. Electrolytic reduction method is used. So here what is the reaction taking place here? Aluminium Al2O3. So aluminium will lose its 3 electrons and will become aluminium Al. So reaction at the electrode we need to represent. The next question, what is galvanization? Okay, let's read the question once. Galvanization is a common method used to protect iron articles from rusting. Galvanization is a common method to protect metals from rusting. Explain how this coating prevent the rusting. So what is galvanization? Galvanization is making a layer of zinc on iron to prevent it from rusting. Explain how this will prevent even when the coating is scratched and the iron is exposed. Even if the coating is removed, still it will prevent. How? And suggest one other method apart from the galvanization and painting. So different methods are there. Anodizing is there, then alloying is there to prevent the rusting. Oiling is there. If it is simple farmer articles, they can be oiled and protected. So let's read the answer now. The metal used for coating iron in galvanization is zinc. Zinc prevent rusting in 2 ways. So once I'm reading the method, concentrate. Zinc prevent rusting in 2 ways. First, it provide a physical barrier. So physical barrier means it is not making the iron to reach in contact with the moisture. Secondly, even if the coating is scratched, suppose the coating is removed, zinc continue to protect the iron. So as already it was coated, so it will continue to protect the iron. This is because zinc is more reactive than iron. As zinc is more reactive than iron, so it will try to react with oxygen rather than making the iron to come in contact. So now preferentially acting as a sacrificial anode. So this is very important, like sacrificial. Why we call it a sacrificial anode? Because it is sacrificing itself and protecting iron. It is sacrificing itself and protecting iron. So we call it as sacrificial anode. Next, what are the another methods? So here to prevent rusting, oiling can be done, greasing can be done, applying a layer of oil or grease cut off the contact of iron surface with the air and moisture. Other methods are chrome plating, alloying. So when alloying is done, then also the resulting metal will have some other characteristics, thus protecting the metal from getting rusted. Now the next question, a student set up the appliance for reaction of zinc granules with dilute sulfuric acid. So here the reaction is being depicted. So where the zinc granules are added, zinc granules with dilute sulfuric acid as depicted. So this experiment already you know, and there is a pop sound. When a burning candle is brought near by the gas released, the candle will put off and the gas will start burning. As hydrogen is being produced here, hydrogen is inflammable gas. So let's start out with the questions here. What would the student observe happening near the surface of zinc granule? So the zinc granule, when it is added, there will be bubble formation. The student would observe bubbles of the colorless and odorless gas being formed on the surface of zinc granule. So zinc granule will come in contact with sulfuric acid. So Zn plus H2SO4 will form ZnSO4 plus hydrogen. Hydrogen gas is released. Thus, there is a bubble formation. And what are the physical characteristics of hydrogen? It is a colorless and odorless gas, having no color, no smell. The next question, name the gas evolved in the process. So gas is hydrogen. How can its presence be tested in the laboratory? So if a burning candle is brought near it, the candle will put off and the gas will start burning as it is a inflammable gas. Now the third question, if the student touches the bottom of the flask after the reaction starts, what change in the temperature would he felt? Justify your answer. So there will be heat generation. It is a exothermic reaction. You will feel the test tube to be hotter. Let's go with answers now. Students would feel that the test tube will become hot. This is because the reaction of zinc and dilute sulfuric acid is exothermic reaction, which means heat is released during the process, causing the temperature of the flask to rise. So here the flask will become hotter. Now coming to the next question. Why you were so late today, Vivek? You joined just now? Vivek, we completed bio section and started with chemistry. Chemistry is also almost done. So once you go through with the video, okay, so bio is already done. Once you listen the things so that you can memorize them. Now the next question, a farmer found that soil in his field was very acidic with the pH of around 4.5. Here the soil is acidic in nature, resulting in poor crop growth. An agricultural expert advised him to add either quick lime, slaked lime or chalk to the soil. So all these are base, as the soil is acidic. If base is added, acid plus base, there will be neutralization reaction and they get neutral. Why is higher acidic soil detrimental to crop growth? So why it is dangerous for the crop growth? Why it is not suitable for the crop growth? First question. So here answer, highly acidic soil is detrimental because most plants grow best in the soil that is close to neutral pH. When the pH is neutral, plants will grow. Growth is best. In highly acidic condition, the essential nutrients required by the plant may not be available in the form that the plant root can absorb. So why the acidic soil or the basic soil? The same reason you can use for both. Why it is not recommended to use acidic or basic soil? Okay, the reason is like either acidic or basic soil. Both are not recommended for the growth of the plant because plants cannot absorb their essential nutrients from acidic or basic salt. So always neutral salt is needed. If the soil is acidic, they add base to the soil. If the soil is basic, they add acid, salts to that. Now the next question, explain why the addition of any of three suggested substances can improve the soil. So answer will be like, the three substances are basic oxides. When the basic oxide is added to acidic soil, they will react and neutralize the soil to neutral condition, which is suitable for the plant's growth. Write a balanced chemical equation showing the neutralization of the soil acid. Like let's assume that soil is containing sulfuric acid. If you add sulfuric acid to any of the given content, okay, like CaO, quick lime, or CaOH whole twice, CaCO3, chalk formula, any of the compound you can use and you can write reaction. Suppose we are using CaCO3 plus H2SO4. Okay, so how the reaction will take place? You need to write a chemical equation for that. Sulfuric acid plus CaOH whole twice will form CaSO4 plus H2O. You can write any of the equation either with CaOH whole twice or with CaO or with CaCO3. CaCO3 is formula of chalk. CaO is quick lime, CaOH slaked lime. So yeah, equation can be completed with any of the given content. Now the next question. A baker prepared a cake batter and added baking soda. However, he forgot to add another key dry ingredient, causing the final cake to have bitter taste. If you recall back this baking powder concept. So there we are having baking powder, baking soda and baking powder. Baking soda, it's without tartaric acid. When tartaric acid is added in baking soda, it will become baking powder. So why tartaric acid is added? The reason is baking powder, baking soda is bitter in taste due to presence of sodium carbonate. Na2CO3 is there due to presence of Na2CO3. It is bitter in taste. So little tartaric acid is added, which will neutralize the bitter taste of baking soda. So here the baker forgot to add baking powder. So as baking powder is not there, so tartaric acid is not there, which will neutralize the bitter taste. So the question, what crucial ingredient usually found mixed with baking soda in baking powder? Tartaric acid. Did he likely forgot? Why this ingredient necessary? Because it will neutralize the bitter taste of sodium carbonate. Next question, what is the chemical name and formula of baking soda? Okay, baking soda, Na2CO3, sodium carbonate. Explain the role of baking soda in making the cake soft. So baking soda, when it is heated, Na2CO3, it will release carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, when it comes out, it will create small holes in the cake. While releasing, it will make small holes and make the cake puffy. So cake will rise because it becomes puffy in nature, and due to that formation of small holes, carbon dioxide will expel out. So let's have the reaction here. So already we did this part. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3. Okay, baking soda, sodium hydrogen carbonate. They asked about chemical name of baking soda, sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate we call, and its formula is NaHCO3. So when NaHCO3 is heated, it will form Na2CO3 plus. So this is only like due to formation of sodium carbonate Na2CO3, baking soda is bitter in taste. This is sodium carbonate gives bitter taste to cake. To neutralize this bitter taste, tartaric acid is added. So a reaction, when baking soda is heated, it produces Na2CO3 plus water plus carbon dioxide. The bubbles of carbon dioxide gas get trapped in the wet dough and try to escape, causing the cake to rise and become soft and spongy. So this part is very important. Out of this acid base, we have two important questions like about related to tartaric acid one, and the next one, why milkman adds baking soda to milk. So as the milk is little acidic in nature, to protect the milk for longer, he adds baking soda, which will make the milk alkaline in nature. And one more question can be added over there. Why this milk takes more time to get set into curd? Now by adding baking soda, we made the milk to alkaline. To come into the acidic pH, it need more time. Okay, this question is also very important. Question number 29. Here we got two internal choices again in chemistry. In bio also, two internal choices were there, one in 11th question and one in 16th question. And the same way, here also, 29th question, one internal choice is there. In 28th question, one internal choice was there. Okay, here an organic compound A has molecular formula C2H6O. Very important question here. Single oxygen is there. So it can be either aldehyde or ketone. So let's identify what is that, and is common solvent and the active ingredient in alcoholic beverages. So alcohols. So it is related to something alcohol. When A is warmed with alkaline potassium permanganate, K2Cr2O7, it gets converted to organic acid. When alcohol are heated, it converts into carboxylic acid. When A and B are heated together in presence of few drops of concentrated sulfuric acid, a compound C with fruit smell. So whenever the fruit smell is given, be clear that it is ketone derivative. Okay. So here, esterification, COOH, not ketone derivative, esterification reaction is taking place. Esters are sweet in smell. So the last one is esterification reaction is taking place. We need to identify A, B and C. So A is alcohol, ethanol, as it is given like it is a common solvent of alcoholic beverage, ethanol. Then both are reacting and forming ethanoic acid, that is B, and C is ethyl acetate. We got all ABC. Identify the compound ABC, write the balanced chemical equation for the conversion of A to B. A to B, C2H5OH. That is ethanol when reacted in presence of potassium permanganate, K2Cr2O7. Potassium permanganate, they convert into ethanoic acids. Let's see solution now here. So equations you need to memorize. These are the very important equations of carbon and its compound. Learn it very properly. Okay, section C got started. Section B is complete. Then only this answer is remaining. Let's complete that answer. See, these equations are very important. Learn them properly. C2H5OH, ethanol. First one is ethanol. There in the question they gave the key like it is alcoholic beverages. So alcohol, whenever ethanol is heated with potassium permanganate or potassium dichromate, it forms ethanoic acid. So reaction is very simple. In organic chemistry, you need not to balance the equation. Directly you can memorize equations. So here, the first one, ester, sweet smell means ester. Ethanol converting into ethanoic acid. The process is called esterification. Next, electron dot structure of ethanol. For this electron dot structure, once I'll take a video where I'll explain you electron dot structures nicely. So there it need little explanation. So in this screen sharing, I cannot explain that part. Electron dot structure of ethanol and concentrated sulfuric acid acts like a dehydrating agent. So I forgot to read the question. So let me read that question. What was the question? Here the fourth question, draw the electron dot structure of compound A. Ethanol structure you need to draw. Then next one, electron dot structure. And what is the role of concentrated sulfuric acid in the formation of C? Sulfuric acid will remove water from ethanol and ethanoic acid. Okay, thus it is acting like a dehydrating agent. So role is, it is a dehydrating agent which will absorb water. Next, carbon is an element that forms a basis for all life. It belongs to group 14 of the periodic table, exhibit unique property. What is the valency of carbon? Its valency is 4. Name the property of the carbon which allows it to form long chain. So carbon has got 3 unique property. The first one is catenation. That is, it forms a long chain. Whenever they will ask about the long chain, you need to write the word catenation. Okay, the second one, tetravalency. As it is tetravalent in nature, because of the tetravalency, it can combine with many other compounds. Next one, small size. So why the carbon has unique nature? 3 points you need to represent: tetravalency, small size, and third point, catenation. Name the property of the carbon which allows it to form long chain itself. That is catenation. Carbon exists in various forms with different physical properties but identical chemical properties. What are these different forms called? So here the different forms are called allotropes. Okay, and what are these different forms called? Name one hard and one soft crystalline form. So different allotropic forms of carbon are there. Few minutes only. Wait for a few minutes. Let me arrange everything. Switch on light. This side, this one, this side. Switch off this fan. Is there? Few minutes, I'll continue. Let it be open. Others will come. Today, yesterday only Leela was present. Only one. Only Leela. I think today you too will be there. Switch off light. Switch on light of that. Okay, let's continue. Here it is given. Different physical properties but identical chemical properties. Allotropes are the compounds which have different physical properties but different chemical properties. Why the physical property of allotropes are same? The reason because the allotropes are made up of same element. Here the carbon has got different allotropes like graphite is there, then carbon black is there, diamond is there. All chemical formula, all chemical properties will be same because they are made up of one is sufficient. They are made up of carbon only. But coming to their chemical properties, physical properties, it's different. Now draw the structure of hard crystalline form you named in part B. So that allotropes which we diamond and graphite. Graphite is the hard, diamond is the hardest one and graphite is the softest one. What type of bond are present in compounds of carbon? Compounds of carbon, they are having covalent bond. There are two types of bonds. One is ionic bond, other is covalent bond. Get that phone, sir. Even red pen also. Now here, two forms. Okay, once again repeating the question. Which type of bonds are present in compounds of carbon? Ionic bond and covalent bond. So as the carbon compounds are made by sharing of electrons, so covalent bonds are present there. Give a reason. So here, it was switched off. Put in charge. Switch on. Now. The next one. Why these compounds are generally poor conductor of electricity? So here they are covalent compounds. Covalent compounds are made up of sharing of electrons. They don't have any loose electrons. So thus they are poor conductor of electricity. For this you need to learn about properties of carbon compounds. Okay, covalent compounds. 4 properties are given about their natures, then conductivity. So you need to learn out all the 4 properties. The next question, okay, let's go through with the answer. The valency of carbon is 4. The property of self-linking to form a long chain is called catenation. These different forms are called allotropes. Hard crystalline form is diamond and the soft crystalline form is graphite. Structure of diamond is given. So here for diamond it is hexagonal and for graphite it is octagonal. The next one, why covalent compounds are poor conductor of electricity? Because they are formed by sharing of electrons. No free electrons are there to move. So in absence of free electrons, they are bad conductor of electricity. So this we completed the chemistry part now. This is the electron dot structure. So this once again in the next video I'll explain how to draw electron dot structure. Section C is related to physics. What will be learning? As today's answer you need to write in there. Okay, here the first question. Choose from the following correct option. The first question is, student observed the reflection of light from different types of spherical mirror and made the following statement. Concave mirror can form a magnified and real image of object. So if you remember concave and convex, two kinds of mirrors are there. Concave mirror where the magnified image is formed. In convex, we get both the virtual conditions. Convex mirror can only form the virtual image. So both statement A, 1 and 2 are correct. And the third one, the magnification produced by concave mirror can be negative. Here the concave mirror magnification can be negative. So all the 3 options are correct. Concave mirror forms a real magnified image when the object is between F and 2F. Instead of 2F, as in the mirror we don't have 2F. So here we will consider this to be C, center of curvature. Convex mirror always produces virtual image. Negative magnification indicates that real and inverted image is formed. As in the concave case, we get only one condition where there is virtual condition, that is when the object is between pole and focus, rest of all the condition, it is real and inverted. So magnification is negative. All the three options are correct, 1, 2 and 3. Let's move with the next question. Choose the correct option from the below, which explains the reason for perceive the daylight as blue. So why the daylight is blue? Why the sky looks blue? So here are the two conditions you need to remember. When something is blue in nature, you need to say like the light is passing through the small particles. As the particle size is smaller, they scatter shorter wavelength. Okay, which make the thing to look blue. If the particle size is big, they will scatter the bigger wavelength, red, and the thing will look red in color. So here they are giving about the blue. As the sunlight passes through the atmosphere, shorter wavelengths such as blue are scattered more than other color. So option A is correct. Sky appears blue because all the color are scattered. If all the color will scatter, then but blue light is stronger. All the colors will not scatter. The blue color of the sky is due to longer wavelength. Blue is having shorter wavelength. Option number C is also wrong. So here the correct statement is A, sunlight passes. Just you remember, like if it is blue, shorter wavelength is being scattered. The next one, assertion reason. A point object is placed at a distance of 36 centimeter from a convex mirror of focal length, 26 centimeter from a convex mirror of focal length 26. So when it is placed at a distance of 26, means it is placed at focus itself, as the focus is also, focal length is also 26. The image will form at infinity. If the object is at focus, image will be at infinity. Reason for the above given system, the equation 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by u. So v is infinity. Both a and r are true. So here will form at infinity. A is true, but r is false. As we know the formula, 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon v plus 1 upon u. Here 1 upon f and 1 upon u are equal. 1 upon 26 plus 1 upon 26. So v we will get as 13. It's not infinity. So second statement, reason is wrong. R is correct, but A is true, but R is false. Option number C. The next question, 33. Here, convex lens is given. Which type of lens is used in the above diagram? So most probably all of you are clear with the convex and concave lens. If it is thinner at the tip and thicker at the middle, convex lens. If it is thicker at the tip and thinner in the middle, it's a Where I kept my phone? Oh, I brought it. I thought like, well, it's not, no, that's not working. Vivek, for some of the answers you gave wrong answer, like polymerization, isomerism. Polymerization will not come there. So we were discussing about the diamond and graphite. Isomerism will be the answer. They are the isomers. Okay, what are isomers? They are having same chemical formula but different structural arrangements. Should not write like polymerization. Diamond and graphite was the correct answer. Okay, now the next question. Complete the diagram in your answer book. Write the nature of the image formed. So here you need to write the answer related to convex lens. They have not given the position placed on the axis. So this question is a little incomplete. They have not given the position of the object. Without position of object, you cannot complete the diagram. So convex lens B, they considered it in between F1 and F2. Okay, the above question only they are completing, like if it is in between focus and 2F2, center of curvature. So if it is in between F and 2F2, image will form on behind 2F2, and it is real and inverted. You need to practice out all the ray diagrams as they're very important. Again, in 34th question, for convex mirror, convex lens, you can remember like all the conditions are real and inverted. Only one case there is virtual and direct image. Now the next question, 34th, again internal choice is there. Two identical resistors, 24 ohm, each are connected to a battery of 6 volt. Calculate the ratio of the power consumed by the resulting combination with minimum resistance and maximum resistance. So as it is given minimum resistance, if they are connected in parallel condition, we get minimum. If they are connected in series, we get maximum. Parallel condition, 1 upon 24 plus 1 upon 24 will reciprocate, answer will be 12. And if maximum is given, we'll connect them in series, 24 plus 24, 48. We need to find the ratio for parallel connection. Maximum, we got series connection where the answer is 48. And for minimum, we got answer to be 12. Okay, let's move with the answer now. We need to find the ratio of power consumed. So whenever, if they're asking power related to series and parallel, okay, related to resistance, remember that the power formula will be V square by R. So here we need to use the formula V square by R upon V square by R. So both the 6 squares will get cancelled. 48 upon 12. So ratio is 4:1. Is it clear? Vivek, is it clear? Question number 34. Is it clear? Okay. Now the 34B. Current flowing through the resistors connected in the circuit and a potential difference developed across the ends are shown in the diagram by millimeter and voltmeter reading respectively. What are the least count of these meters? So yeah, this is from the practical book. If you are having practical physics book, once you can go through with these kind of questions. Lab book. What are the least count of these meters? So here 10 difference is there between 100 and 200. So least count is 10 milliampere. And in voltmeter, 10 divided by 100, as there is 100 difference overall. So 10 divided by 100, 0.1 volt. So how to find the least count? How many divisions are there in between the two intervals? In milliampere, there are 10 divisions between the 100 and 200. So it's 10 milliampere. To find voltmeter, you need to divide that milliamperes reading with their differences. Okay. So it is 100, 10 divided by 100, 0.1 volt. Now next question, what is the resistance of the resistor? From V, we need to calculate. So it's in between 2 and 3. 2.4 is representing the volt reading. So 2.4 volt. And so next question. Question is not given there directly, they started with the answer. Calculate the ratio, calculate the power. What is the resistance of these resistors? Okay, volt we calculated, we need to calculate resistance. Second question is given, what is the resistance of these resistors? Resistance we need to calculate. So I we got 10 milliampere and P we got 0.1 volt. So which is 2.4 volt is given. So let's start out with the solution here. Current is 250 milliampere. So resistance formula is V by I. I we got 250 milliampere. So here milliampere. If we see this milliampere meter, so its arrow is representing at 250. So current value is 250 milliampere, whereas the voltage is 2.4 volt. We need to find R. R is V by I. So that they calculated by dividing both the values. I is, here milliampere is given. To convert milliampere to ampere, we need to, milliampere to ampere, we need to divide it by 1000. So it's 0.25. R is V by I, 2.4 divided by 0.25. So calculate and answer will be 9.6 ohm. So as we are finding resistance, unit of resistance is ohm. Once calculate and complete the solution. Completed. We'll complete that solution once. The last question, who's you complete reading? Complete the concept, I'll make questions out of that. Complete the solution and try to complete the next question. Study the diagram given below and answer the following question. The diagram is given and questions are there. If you are able to do, solve it. Otherwise, I'll explain in a few minutes. Once you go and call Kirti. So here, out of human eye, two important concepts are there. The defects you need to learn very properly. Myopia and hypermetropia. Here, convex lens is used and image is formed behind retina. To restore, like the first one is normal eye where the image is formed behind retina. To restore it, you are using a convex lens where the image is being formed on retina. Name the defect of the vision represented in the diagram. So here, defect is hypermetropia, where the image is formed behind retina, and give reason for your answer. The defect is hypermetropia because far point is situated at infinity, but the near point has shifted away from near point 25 centimeter. Cause elongation of the focal length or eyeball will become too small. Which type of, next question, with the help of the diagram, show how this defect of vision can be corrected. So both the diagrams you need to hear, total 3 diagrams to be done. The first one normal human eye, the second one defected eye, and the third one corrected eye. 2 defects are given. Both the diagrams are important. Anyone can be asked. Practice them properly. Now the next question. A wire is cut into 3 equal parts and then connected in parallel. How will its resistance? So here, let the resistance of the R, the complete wire resistance is R. As it is being divided into 3 parts, so each one will have R by 3. Now they are connected in parallel. She's not there. Okay, switch off this light here. So here we need to find out for the parallel resistance. 1 by Rp is 1 by R by 3 plus 1 by R by 3 plus 1 by R by 3. So overall they get reciprocal. So it's 3 by R plus 3 by R plus 3 by R. 9 by R. First question, resistivity get affected when we cut the wire. So wire is being reduced to 1/3. So its resistivity will get affected. So once I'll explain the sum related to resistivity, how to find resistivity, that in the next class. So two questions, Vivek, you remind me about this resistivity one, and one more I told, like I don't remember, electron dot structure. Once you remind me, so that in the next class we will discuss with those questions. अगर हाइपरमेट्रोपिया को मेट्रोपॉलिटन लिख देंगे तो गलत होगा ना? मेट्रोपॉलिटन मतलब ये सिटी के रिलेटेड हो गया ना, पूरा ही गलत हो गया ना कॉन्सेप्ट, मतलब तुम्हारा दिया हुआ चीज़ ही गलत हो गया ना. हाइपरमेट्रोपिया ही लिखना, स्पेलिंग बिल्कुल रॉन्ग नहीं होना है. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. So here question is, the magnetic field lines are shown around the current carrying conductor. Around the current carrying straight conductor. A student claims that the magnetic field strength at point P is stronger than at Q. So if you recall back, जब हम लोग कोई कर्व बनाते हैं तो field line strength decreases as we move away. Okay, so the student is saying like they are stronger at P compared to Q. Is the student claim correct? Give reason. As the claim is correct, magnetic field strength due to current carrying conductor is inversely proportional to the distance. So here the distance is increasing, inversely proportional to the distance. This point you need to remember. Inversely proportional to the distance from the conductor. As the distance increases, field line strength increases. So here inversely proportional, since the P is closer to the conductor than Q, the magnetic field at P will be stronger than Q. Field at P will be stronger than Q. Okay. Next, a multimedia projector is often used in a classroom and seminar hall to project enlarged image of slide or digital content. So upper question is also very important. This kind of magnetic field based questions we are getting very often. Slide or digital content onto a distinct screen. The arrangement generally consists of powerful light source and convex lens, which adjusts to, only few questions are there, it will get over. So it will get adjusted to obtain a sharp image on the screen. The clarity of the image depends on the lens screen distance. So here the clarity of the image is depending on the distance between the lens and the screen. So here, as well as the focal length of the convex lens used in the projector, the figure below illustrates how the slide is kept between the focus and the lens to form a magnified real image on the screen. So which type of lens is used in projector? Just now they gave in the explanation itself like it is a convex lens. Once you read the comprehension given properly, you will get all the answers. Which type of image is formed on the screen? So image, it is looking straight. Okay. So here image is real and okay, whenever we get the image on screen, read the question properly. Screen, if we are getting image on screen means it's a real and inverted. If screen is not there, we cannot get virtual image on screen. So answer is real and inverted image. The third one, the projector lens has the focal length 10. Sharp image is obtained on the screen 200 centimeter behind the lens. Find the object distance. So by using formula, we need to find U, we need to find out. So in case of concave and convex, so this question also once I'll explain while 37 का 2 नंबर 37 का क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 यही 37 था ना, एक 37 का सेकेंड नंबर. Okay, redraw the diagram and mark the direction of the magnetic field lines using right hand thumb rule. अभी right hand thumb rule क्या बोलता है कि if we carry a current carrying conductor in right hand such that the thumb gives the direction of the current, then the wrapped fingers will give the direction of field lines. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग कैसे कर रहे हैं कि डायरेक्शन को तुमने डाउनवर्ड किया, एक एरो बनाया है देखो डाउनवर्ड, तो दैट इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग एज द करंट इज बीइंग फ्लोइंग थ्रू द फ्रॉम द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द थंब. Okay, if the direction is upward, then arrow marking will be reversed in the circles. So if the arrow marking is downward, the same direction down, like the fill lines. Is it clear? Vivek, is it clear? Vivek, 37-second question. In the figure, the same downward arrow was there. So downward arrow is representing the direction of the current. That is, they carried in the, okay, right hand thumb rule. Like if we carry the current carrying conductor in our right hand, so that the thumb gives the direction of the current, then wrapped fingers will give the direction of the fill lines. Left hand rules means that 3 fingers, we need to place them perpendicular to each other. Fill lines and all will come. Okay, multimedia projector we completed. Then this solution, if you know how to use the mirror formula and lens formula, you can put out all the values and solve it. Here they have given focus 10. Only just to remember, like if it is convex, F will be positive. For concave, F is negative. For concave, F and U is always negative. For convex, only U is negative, F is positive. We like it is given behind, okay, behind the mirror, so it will be negative. Put out all the values and calculate U. After that magnification, as it is lens, so it's V upon U. Again, there is internal choice here, either A or B. A household uses the following electric appliances: refrigerator of rating 400 watt for 10 hours each day, and 2 electric fans for rating 80 watt each of 6 hours daily. 2 electric fans are there. Now the question is 6 electric tubes of rating 18 watt each 6 hours daily. Calculate the electricity bill. So this I'll be dictating how to solve. Just start doing that, Vivek. Always power to be in kilowatt, as the electric consumption is calculated based on kilowatt hour. So here we need to calculate it by kilowatt hour. So 400 divided by 1000 multiply by 10. Kilowatt hour. 400 divided by 1000 multiply by 10. So we got 4 kilowatt hour. So first one is 4. Second is 2 electric fans are there. So 2 multiply by 80 multiply by 6 divided by 1000. For the second one, 2 multiply by 80 multiply by 6 divided by 1000. For the third one, 6 tubes are there. 6 multiply by 18 multiply by 6 divided by 1000. Then add all the answers. After adding all, they are asking to find out the consumption for the month of June. So multiply that by 30 and per unit cost is 3. Multiply by 3. Repeating once again, 400 multiply by 10 divided by 1000. 80 multiply by 2 multiply by 6 divided by 1000. Here the third one, 18 multiply by 6 electric tubes are there. So 18 multiply by 6 multiply by 6 divided by 1000. All be converted into kilowatt. So add them together, then multiply it by 30 and 3 as it is asked for the month of June. So multiply it by 30 and 3. per unit cost is rupees 3. Is it clear? Check out whether you are getting the answer as 504 or not. We are not getting any response. You understood it properly? If you understood, then calculate it. Next, the last question is there. So this paper will get over. He was late. So once again, you go through with all the things. Now divide and convert it into mixed number. Same questions. Divide this around the so like that. We completed. Second वाले का value 2 electric fans are there, 80 watt. 2 multiply by 80 multiply by 6. बस ये पावर वाले बहुत इजी होते हैं. जो पावर रेटिंग दिया उसको टाइम से मल्टीप्लाई करो, डिवाइड बाय 1000, और जो भी नंबर ऑफ दिए रहते हैं, नंबर ऑफ फैंस और लाइट्स, उनको मल्टीप्लाई कर लो. 400 multiply by 10 divide by 1000, 80 multiply by 2, as 2 fans are there, multiply by 6. हो गया, लिख लिया सेकंड वाला. थर्ड वाला है 6 bulbs, 6 multiply by 18 multiply by 6. कर लिया, नोट कर लिया. विवेक नोट कर लिया. सभी को ऐड करो, फिर मल्टीप्लाई बाय 30 as in the June month 30 days are there, then per unit cost is 3. चेक करो आंसर क्या आ रहा है, बताओ. then I'll give final answer. आंसर बताओ क्या हुआ. $504.72 आ रहा है. आया आंसर? चेक करो आंसर के साथ आ रहा है या नहीं. नहीं आया तो कल मेरे को एक बार रिमाइंड करवाना, तो कल मैं एक बार वाला सम, या फिर क्लास कंप्लीट होने के बाद एक बार वाला सम करवा दूंगी. आंसर आ गया? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन करवाऊं? विवेक, should I start next one? अच्छा, कंप्लीट करके बताओ मुझे. आंसर. Okay, now the next question, value of current is given. So we need to draw VI graph. Plot the graph between VI and calculate the resistance of the resistor. So resistance का formula क्या है? R is equal to V by I. So first case R1 will be 1.6 upon 0.5. Second will be 3.4 upon 1. Third will be 6.7 upon 2. We need to divide both the values. So first we need to plot it. For plotting, always current will be on x-axis and potential difference will be on y-axis. 6 divided by 17. Okay. Now, how to calculate? From the graph, we can take the value of VI. VI 6.7 Okay, maybe in the question they have given graph. From the graph, we can take the value of V and I. You need to read it very properly to answer this. So let me read question first. So here the value of VI is given for the following register. For the corresponding value of the potential difference V across the registers are given below. plot the graph between, we need to plot it and calculate the resistance of the register. So after plotting only you can have the clear vision of values. So this also once you try in graph paper. Solve this in graph paper. If you are not getting, then I'll explain in the next class this question. I'll get a graph paper and then I'll solve and show you. So this paper got completed. So in short, like in paper, we were having one question from the, like 2 numericals are there, both from electricity only, so concentrate properly. In electricity and light we are having only numericals. Once you concentrate that, so this paper got completed. Whatever is left over, go through with that. Solve the last question. Already I shared link with you. So once you go through with the link, first paper only we started today. This is the last question of first sample paper. If you're not getting, I'll explain in next class. Once you message me, I'll explain in next class. We're completing the class now. Whatever is left out, go through with that and complete this paper today itself.